Good evening, everybody. East Coast, wherever you may be. Trumansburg. Now, there's someplace I've never been. I walked up yesterday. Dear. And lo and behold, it said on my paper calendar, yes, I still have a paper calendar. It said, fly to, where was I going to fly to? Rochester. And I thought, oh, I won't be doing that today. But I was at a certain point, and really looking forward to being in this beautiful arts center. But this is the best we're going to do, and hopefully you'll get an idea of what I do and what kind of music I like. And I'm going to do some current favorites right now. Hope you can hear that. I've got to tell you, I've been racking my brain, trying to find a way out. I've had enough of this continual rain. Changes are coming, no doubt. It's been a too long time. No peace of mind, 'cause I'm ready for the times to get better. Long, lonely time, no peace of mind. Ready for the times to get better. You seem to want from me what I cannot give. Feel so lonesome at times. I've got a dream that I wish I could live. It's burning holes in my mind. It's been a too long time. No peace of mind, 'cause I'm ready for the times to get better. Long, lonely time, no peace of mind, 'cause I'm ready for the times to get better. I gotta tell you, I've been racking my brain, trying to find a way out. I've had enough of this continual rain. Changes are coming, no doubt. It's been a too long time. No peace of mind, 'cause I'm hoping for the times to get better. It's been a long, lonely time with no peace of mind, waiting for the times to get better. Yeah, that was a song written back in the 70s. And look how great it is today. Talk about applicable. That was written by Alan Reynolds, who was a Nashville producer and songwriter. And there were a few hits with it. The version I heard was Doc Watson doing it, and I really thought that's been a great song for the times that we're in right now. So I'm not going to ask you how you're doing, pardon me, because I know how I'm doing, and it's probably similar to how you're doing, where the days just keep repeating day after day after day. And a little bit like Groundhog Day, only a little darker than Groundhog Day. So people ask me what I've been doing for the last 3 months. What you been doing for the last 3 months, or going on 4, if not 4 months already? I can't keep track. But I have been playing a little bit and writing a little bit, and it's sometimes just hard to focus. Sometimes I kind of fool myself into thinking that everything's normal. And then I sort of fall out of that for a while and go, this is really terrible. And but right now, it's great. So I'm really glad you're all out there, and glad to be playing some tunes for you. This is one of the songs that I wrote early on in the sequestration. That's a big word. That's a heavy cup. That's a subtle comment right there. This is one I wrote called Pandemic Pickin'. I think you can see my hand. Move that away. All right, here we go. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. in drop D tuning. I bet we got a lot of guitar players out there. How many guitar players? I'm going to guess. I'm not going to guess. But I hope I see some of you tomorrow at my guitar workshop, which is being put on by the Trumansburg Conservatory Fine Arts Center. And that's going to be, let's see, I think there's going to be a link somewhere that is going to be put up there somewhere. There's George Cook. Oh my God, that's the man responsible for getting me there. Thank you, George. And I hope to meet you sometime. I was so disappointed this didn't happen in person, but anyway, thank you for getting me here. We had figured out this quote unquote gig, well, it is a gig still, was supposed to be in between two guitar camps where I was teaching, one in Maryland and the Ashokan guitar camp in New York, which I really love. And so this was going to be right in the middle, and it worked out perfectly. And George was going to drive to camp, and he was going to take me to camp, which was a lovely offer from him. And it didn't happen. So I hope I get another chance to actually, we keep saying when this is all over. Well, I hope that's going to happen. I have no idea what's real here, but anyway, I'll talk a little bit about the workshop later. Tell you a couple of snippets of things we're going to work on, blues and ragtime. So I hope you guitar geeks out there. I consider that a compliment. I am myself a guitar geek, and we can talk about strings and guitars. This is a Fra-Lini guitar, by the way, made in Madison, Wisconsin. See a little hole up here? And it's been a great guitar for me. It's an OM size, and made in Madison, like I said, by Todd Cambio, who has serious Italian roots. And I think the story is he has a grandmother who had 7 sisters, and he's named each of his models of guitars after the sisters. So this is the Angelina that I have right now. So okay. Table, I got a bed, I got a roof over my head. I'm doing all right. Yes, I'm doing all right. God willing, and the creek don't rise, I'll keep it doing all right. Yeah. Yes, and I got a garden all in a row. I know my way around a rake and a hoe. I'm doing all right. Oh, oh, oh. Yes, I'm doing all right. God willing, let the rain come down. I'll keep doing all right. Yeah. And I make a little hay when the sun do shine. Pinch my pennies, stretch my dimes, doing all right. Yes, I'm doing all right. God willing, knock on wood, you know I'll keep doing all right. Yeah. I still got chops on these here frets. I'm doing alright. Yes, I'm doing alright. God willing, as I play this tune, I'll keep it doing alright. Yeah. I got wood for the fire, bacon in the pan, biscuits in the oven, and beans in a can. I'm doing alright. The kitchen is stocked. I'm doing alright. Yeah, I won't stop. You know, I'll keep doing alright. Yeah. That's a crazy ending, isn't it? Never did that before. Well, all right. Let's see. I think that I am going to switch guitars right now and see how this works. Now that this next guitar is not plugged in, but it is a noisemaker, so it ought to be all right. Let's see here. I'm going to play the lap guitar. Let's see. Oh, I got to turn that down. Okay. All right. So it's just an old kind of beat up. It's a, what is it? A Regal. It's got a nice national cone in it, which makes it a little bit better than a. I found this in my basement, so how about that? I travel with a little Gibson square neck that I usually play, but I didn't want to have to deal with unplugging and plugging in. And this is tuned in D major tuning. Let's see if I can point this down just a little bit. Oh, I know what I need to do. Let me rearrange a couple of things here. Martha Stewart, at your service. Okay, let's pull this down. I don't know if I can do this without having all my hands free. There we go. Hey. Okay, I didn't lose too much. That's better. So yes, I am in D major tuning, same as D major on the guitar. D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. And let's see. Play a couple of my own little instrumentals here. You hear that okay, I hope? Let's see. Yeah, there's a couple of different tunes of mine. One is called, the first one was called Bruno. Oh, I can't remember the other word. Bruno's Delight. So I had a bird named Bruno that was listening to me practice one time. Bruno's, well, it's on one of my CDs. And the other one was a tune called Sashay My Way. That little blues figure. So I'm going to do you a song that's, let's see. Sung by the great Son House, whose stuff was kind of scary, I think. And he was an amazing performer, very powerful. But he was also a preacher, and he would definitely get into it, and he would be his eyes would roll back in his head, and he just kind of was in his own world, and while singing, and he was something else. So I always have to say I have a beautiful picture in my little teaching room back there behind the white doors, and it's a Dick Waterman shot of Skip James and Son House and Mississippi John Hurt at the Newport Folk Festival in 60-something, 2 maybe. And I'm just reading the brand new biography on John Hurt. And he's about to get to the part where he got to go to the big festival. And it's a really interesting book. So here's a tune of Son House. With a little prelude here. This morning, how do you reckon it read? It said, hurry, hurry, your love is dead. I got a letter this morning. Yes, and how do you reckon it read? Hurry, hurry, the man that you love is dead. Well, I packed my suitcase and I took off down the road. I got there and he was laying on the cooling board, and I packed my suitcase. Yes, and I took off down the road. I got there, he was laying on the cooling board. And it seems like 10,000 people at the burying ground didn't know that I loved that man till they laid him down. And it seems like 10,000 people at the burying ground till they laid him in the ground. Well, I folded up my arms and I slowly walked away. Said farewell, honey, I'll see you on Judgment Day. And I folded up my arms. Yes, and I slowly walked away. Said farewell, honey, I will see you on Judgment Day. The Death Letter Blues, oh boy. They don't write them like they used to, that's for sure. Well, let's see. I might talk a little bit about my workshop tomorrow. Nice to see all of you. And what tuning is that in? I said in the beginning, but I'll say it again. I'm not proud. It is in D major tuning, D-A-D, F sharp A-D, just like the guitar D major tuning. It's a great place to be. It's it can be very dark or very happy, depending on what you decide to play. But yeah, we've got a workshop tomorrow. There's a link up tomorrow, somewhere here. I can't really see that far, but I think there's a link about the workshop. And I'm going to teach a couple of tunes. One is a Delta blues style, just a little something I made up. That's a 12-bar blues that works on what we call the dead thumb, which is a muted, very steady 4 beats to the measure. Just to kind of do some little syncopation and some interesting, but yet simple things with the chord changes. Probably the hardest thing, if you're not used to it, is holding down that bass. So no matter what the fingers are doing on the treble string. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. I think if you tap your foot or play with a metronome, that kind of helps you strengthen your thumb, your dead thumb. So and the other tune is a little ragtime piece that I wrote. It's in the key of G, and it uses this. That's kind of a circus-like sound for me. I love that sound. There's always a sense of humor. That's not the song, but if I can remember it. No, that's John Hurt. Never mind. It's a cool It's got some cool changes, and but in almost every change is this pattern of these two notes, even in the E. Not there. I can't even remember my own song, but we're gonna do it tomorrow, and I believe that you will get the tablature if you are signed up for it. And actually, we can do this without tab, and but you're going to have the tab as a little reminder of what we did. So it's kind of a what level advanced beginner, I would say, and up. So I think there's something everybody can do in this workshop. I like to start out very simply and just go through the progression, and then we add the fun stuff, the difficult stuff. So here's a tune from my most recent CD. By the way, I do have CDs. I have many things in my basement that are gathering dust. It's kind of pathetic, but I do enjoy not having to go to a gig and carry all that stuff, But it's all available on my website, and I don't know if they have a library at the conservatory. They might have. If they do, I'll send some product, some merchandise there, and try to let you guys hear some of these tunes, and maybe be able to check out some of my DVDs. I've got about 7 or 8 instructional DVDs on different topics and their different levels. So all this at maryflower.com and more. So hey now, baby, where you been when you should have been here with me? There's a cold seat at the head of the table where my coulda, shoulda used to be. Hey, baby, now, baby, where you been when you should have been home tonight? There's a cold seat at the head of the table. What happened to your appetite? There's ice and snow. It's coming down. Bound to get much colder, but that ain't nothing compared to your cold shoulder. Hey, baby, where you been when you should have been here with me? There's no fire to keep me warm, and the wood pile's about to freeze. Yes, it is. Well, hey, baby, I'm blue and all alone since my honey baby took to Rome. I'm a local fool, I'm out on a limb, still thinking that he might come home now. Hey, baby, I'm howling at the moon, I haven't seen the sun in days. Love is blind, I lose my mind when you treat me this way. I got a dog and his name is Bob, and he comes when I need him. And Bob won't roam, he knows there's a big old bone I'm gonna feed him. Oh, hey, now, baby, where you been when you should have been here with me? There's no fire to keep me warm, and the wood pile's about to freeze. Yeah. A song of mine called Baby, Where You Been? Oh, I'm going to push this back up a little bit. Oh, hey. Yeah, how's your mask collection going? I have quite a collection myself, and I do wash them, and they're all, I got some in my bike bag for when I get on my bike, and I got some in the car, and I got some in the house. But we have a group here. Perhaps you've heard of the Decemberists, and the Decemberists wrote a song soon after that guy that is now president was elected. Oops. And who shall remain unnamed. And anyway, the song was called "Everything Is Awful." And I just realized that they have face masks that say "Everything is awful," and I thought, boy, that's really appropriate now. So I've ordered quite a few of them for friends and family because they're pretty cool. Actually, I don't have them yet, but I have an order that went in. So everything is awful. It kind of says it all, doesn't it? Okay, well, how are we doing here? We got about time for a couple more tunes, maybe. Here's a little bit of Blues in the Key of A, which is a song I call Barrel House. It was on my last CD. And let's see if I can get through it. Here we go. Yeah. Let's see. Trying to think, there were a few things I wanted to talk about here. Oh yeah, I am from the left coast, Portland, Oregon, where a lot is going on politically, and I just wanted to say it is what they're saying in the news is really what's really happening, and it's really frightening. And I've been invited down there a couple of times to go for the early show. It just was usually pretty safe, and it's actually wonderful. I've been to a few of these things that are, people are singing, and it's people like you and me. It's just normal people out there, and for Black Lives Matter, and it's pretty wonderful. But then the later it gets and the darker it gets, things get a little sketchy, and then then the goons come out, and you don't want to be there for that. So anyway, it's quite amazing. They're on their 53rd or 54th night of protests here in Portland, Oregon. So so there, it's all happening downtown, and boy, it's just kind of crazy. Yesterday, I saw I was on a kind of a main street, and I was on my bike, and I heard all these horns honking, and it was
it was they were all honking out the rhythm of Black Lives Matter, and there were hundreds of them, and everyone had their lights on and signs, and it was like a protest parade. It was pretty incredible. It was really actually nice to see. So let's see. So I've got this workshop tomorrow afternoon for you, I think. And if you can't make that, or if you're interested in learning more, there is Ashokan Camp is having online classes next week, starting I think on Wednesday or Thursday. And I have two classes there, one on women's blues and one on just kind of basic blues and ragtime. But there are all kinds of great teachers going to be at this thing, and I highly suggest it'll be a lot of fun. Happy Trom is part of it, and oh boy, I can't think of all the names of people, but you could go to their website and check it out. And then I have my own guitar camp, which happens in October, which I'm very proud of, and have wonderful people coming this year, Jim Kweskin and others, but they won't actually be coming here because sadly it will be online, but we'll have a good time anyway. And that's called Blues in the Gorge. You can look at my website or just Google Blues in the Gorge and check it out. So, well, let's see, I've talked too much. Are there any questions? I thought since I can kind of pretty much see the talking there. Any questions about the workshop or about whatever? Anything? Throw them at me. I'll give you a second to start typing if you have any questions or comments that I should see. Let me know. Well, I don't see anything. Everything must be self-explanatory. It's nice to have you all on board. I really do want to thank George Cook for inviting me in the first place. I was really looking forward to getting to know him. And then I spent a lot of time online with Mark Costa, who's been the most patient person who has had to deal with a Luddite. Thank you, Mark. You've been very nice talking me through how we make this work. And every time there was a brick wall, he got us through the wall and to the other side. So I really appreciate his kindness and his help. So I hope to meet both you guys and more next year, maybe 2021 we'll get together. So looking forward to that happening. So thank you all for tuning in. I got time for one more kind of long song here. I've done this song for years. It's a lot of fun to play. It's got a New Orleans slant on it, and it was written by Leroy Carr, who was a great blues piano player from back in Indianapolis, Indiana, back in the day. I grew up in Indiana, but I sure never saw Leroy Carr, that's for sure. So it's one of my favorite tunes of his. When her mama told Papa to be quiet as a mouse, Papa climbed up on top of the house. He made a lot of whoopee, made a lot of noise, stood up and cheered with the best of the boys. Babies in the cradle, brothers gone to town, sisters in the parlor trying on again. Mama's in the kitchen messing all around, Papa's on the housetop and won't come down. Well, the blues they come, the blues they come. Nobody knows where the blues come from. The blues they go, the blues they go. Isn't everybody happy when the old blues go? Babies in the cradle, brothers go to town, sisters in the parlor trying on a gown. Mama's in the kitchen messing all around, Papa's on the housetop, he won't come down. Well, Papa saw a chicken out in the yard. He picked up a rock and he hit him hard. He hit him hard and he killed him dead. And Now the chicken's in the gravy and the gravy's on the bread. All babies in the cradle, brothers gone to town, sisters in the parlor, trying on again. Mama's in the kitchen, messing all around. Papa's on the housetop, he won't come down. Well, now hush, little baby, don't you cry. The blues is gonna leave you by and by. Papa came in and he sure was cold. He put the baby in the cradle and the blues outdoors. Baby's in the cradle, brothers gone to town, sisters in the parlor trying on again. Mama's in the kitchen messing all around. Papa's on the housetop, he won't come down. Papa's on the housetop, he won't come down. Everybody still awake? I hope so. Well, that was not the ending I was expecting, but sometimes jazz endings just appear out of nowhere. Hey, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope to see some of you tomorrow. And wow, I hope to see some of you next year at the conservatory in Trumansburg. We'll see what we can do. Hope you all stay healthy and happy, and go outside, walk around, get some air, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Oh, I should also tell you I'm on Facebook every Monday at 1:30 West Coast time for about a half an hour. I do a little bit of a lesson, and I do a little bit of playing, and I've just about burned through my entire repertoire after 3 or 4 months of this, but I'm still going, so knock on wood. So be healthy, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.